Hey everyone, welcome back to Digital ELA Lot. My name is Miranda. We hope you guys are doing well and enjoying our videos. This week, we'll be continuing last week's grammar lesson. But before you watch today's video, you should try the worksheet in the description below. We're going to be going over the answers and explaining them in this video. First, we're going to review some of the grammar we went over last week just to refresh your memories. A complete sentence must have a subject, a verb, and it must express a complete thought. For example, in the sentence Lauren sang, the subject is Lauren and the verb is sang. Lauren, a person, is completing the action of singing. To make a more complex sentence, an adjective or an adverb can be included. An adverb describes a verb. So, in the sentence Lauren sang beautifully, beautifully is an adverb because it describes Lauren singing. Now, let's talk a bit about reading in the grammar section. The grammar questions we did last week focused on parts of speech and other grammar rules. They were also individual questions. You didn't have to read a passage or come up with the main idea. When you take the SHSAT, there will be a few questions like that, but there will also be a short passage, which we're going to practice today. There will only be 4 or 5 questions on this passage, so you shouldn't annotate this one as carefully as we've done in other videos. Instead, focus on coming up with a quick main idea for each paragraph and one for the passage. You should also keep an eye out for tone, the way the author writes, because questions might ask you to rewrite a sentence so it fits the tone better. The questions on these passages are a lot like function questions, which, in case you forgot, ask the function of or purpose of a specific part of the passage. The function of each paragraph is always connected to the main idea of the passage, and the function of each sentence is always connected to the main idea of that paragraph. Keep that in mind as you read. All right, with those tips in mind, let's start reading. The local library. According to a 2015 survey, more than 2/3 of Americans own a smartphone, which means that obtaining information or communicating with people is easier than ever before. With the swipe of a finger, the tap of an icon, or a verbal command, people have instant access to articles, blogs, news, and social networking websites. Even with all these immediately available sources of information, one of the best resources for many members of the community also happens to be one of the oldest. The public library is a great place for people to get information. Remember, we focused on the main ideas of each paragraph, so let's come up with one for this one really quickly. Since it's the introduction, there's not a lot of information in this paragraph. Instead, the main function of this paragraph is to introduce libraries. Knowing that, we can come up with the main idea. Phones and the internet make information easy to find, but libraries are still important. Okay, let's go on to the next paragraph. The public library serves a truly critical role in promoting community. With the explosion of digital media in recent years, people in different locations can now communicate almost instantaneously. And yet, many people complain of feeling more isolated and alone than ever before. The library stands in a rare position to help community members meet this universal need for human connection and companionship. So, in the first paragraph, we're told that libraries are important even though phones make information really easy to get. In this paragraph, they're giving a reason to support that claim. Libraries create community. So, for our main idea, we can write, libraries create community and opportunities for connection. Let's move on to the next 2 paragraphs. Furthermore, libraries provide certain amenities, such as access to the internet for free to all people. A student who does not have a computer at home can research and type a paper for school. Similarly, an unemployed adult without access to the internet can make use of library resources to find job opportunities. The free items that are found at the library can help people get a lot done. This paragraph gives us another reason to support the claim from the introduction. It says that libraries are important because they're free, so anyone can have access to them. This is an especially strong argument because the passage references cell phones a lot, and those aren't free. So, for the main idea of this paragraph, we can say, libraries are free, so they can help provide internet access to a lot of people. On to the next paragraph. Public libraries also offer a variety of resources to community members. One important resource is the local librarian, who does far more than check out books and collect fines. Other library resources include free or low-cost tutoring and training programs. Additionally, lectures, book groups, and town meetings promote critical thinking and community engagement. A typical librarian holds a master's degree and can help library patrons navigate through the flood of information available in print and on the internet. Once again, this paragraph supports the claim made in the introduction. This one is similar to the last paragraph because it emphasizes libraries being free and open to all. The difference is that in this paragraph, it talks about free things libraries offer other than the internet. So for this paragraph, the main idea is libraries and librarians can offer a lot of free resources to people. Okay, on to the last mini paragraph. The hallmark of a public library is that its materials and services are accessible to all. The library connects people to a network of information and resources and is an important part of a community. So, this paragraph seems to summarize the reasons given in the last three. Instead of coming up with a main idea for this one, since it's so short, we're just going to move on and come up with a main idea for the whole passage. Before we move on, let's talk about the tone really quick. As we said before, tone refers to the way the author is speaking. In poetry, you might remember we use tone to talk about the emotions the author was conveying. In nonfiction like this, tone is more about how the author is talking. Because of the fancy vocabulary and educational topic, the tone of this passage is formal. Now, you guys might know this from school, but in case you don't, if something is written in a formal tone, it usually avoids using first person or second person, which means talking using words like I, we, or you. Now let's get started on the questions. Question 5. Which sentence should replace sentence 4 to best introduce the main claim of the passage? A. In this age of smartphones and search engines, the public library is a valuable resource for members of a community to use. B. Finding information is easier than ever, but going to the public library is still a valuable learning experience. C. Though today's computers are highly advanced, the resources available at a public library are more useful for students. D. Despite the proliferation of social networking sites, a public library is a great place for people who are interested in improving their community. For this question, we first have to find the main idea of the passage. The main idea is basically to show readers why the local library is important, even when we have resources such as the internet and smartphones. The correct answer for number 5 is A, because it gives the broadest answer that summarizes the themes of the passage and why libraries are beneficial, while the other options focus on specific details mentioned in the passage. B is incorrect because it does not connect the main idea of the passage as much, since it undervalues the importance of libraries. C is incorrect because it focuses on why computers are helpful, rather than why libraries are important resources, which weakens the main argument of the passage. And finally, D is incorrect because it focuses on social networking sites, which are not relevant to the main idea of the passage. Now, question 6. Which sentence would best follow and support sentence 8? Libraries, which have been around for centuries and are found throughout the world today, help preserve the history of a community. F. The public library is often used as a place for community leaders and organizers to host community events such as hearings or town halls. G. Libraries rely on a combination of local, state, and federal dollars to provide the kind of services and programs that community members have come to expect. H. At a public library, people can interact with others through a variety of programs, including teen book clubs, toddler story times, and senior citizen exercise classes. Sentence 8 focuses on how the library fosters human connection. E and G are not connected to the main idea of the paragraph and do not support sentence 8. Although F mentions community events, it is not as connected to the ideas of sentence 8 since it focuses on the spending of federal funds. The correct answer for 6 is H, because it clearly mentions how the library provides human connection and gives many examples of humans forming connections at the library. Question 7. Which revision of sentence 12 best maintains the formal style established in the passage? A. The free resources available at the library can help people accomplish many tasks. B. The free materials you can get at the library can help you to do many different tasks. C. Everything that is free at the library can help people work on a lot of different things. D. The free resources you can find at the library can help you do whatever you need to do. Sentence 12 says, the free items that are found at the library can help people get a lot done. Sentence 12 says, the free items that are found at the library can help people get a lot done. The problem with this sentence is how informal and not specific the vocabulary is. The correct answer for this question has to be a sentence that uses strong language and is more specific. Option B is incorrect because it uses second person, directly addressing the reader, which is informal. Option C is incorrect because even though it does not use second person, it uses informal language like work on and things. Option D is also incorrect because it uses the informal phrase, whatever you need to do, in addition to informally addressing the reader through the use of second person. The correct answer for 7 is A, because it uses advanced language like resources available and accomplish many tasks, while the other options use the second person you and vague words. Question 8 says, where should sentence 17 be moved in order to improve the organization of the fourth paragraph? Sentences 13 to 17. E, to the beginning of the paragraph before sentence 13. F, between sentences 13 and 14. G, between sentences 14 and 15. H, between sentences 15 and 16. This question is asking where sentence 17 should be moved in order to improve how the paragraph is organized. Sentence 17 is, a typical librarian holds a master's degree and can help library patrons navigate through the flood of information available in print and on the internet. Option E is incorrect because it put the sentence before the main idea of the paragraph, which is that the public library offers many resources. Sentence 17 gives an example of the librarians as one of the resources, so it would not be placed at the beginning of the paragraph before the main idea. Option F is incorrect because it moves the sentence to before the library is introduced in the paragraph. Option H is incorrect because sentences 15 and 16 are not talking about the librarian, so it doesn't make any sense to put sentence 17 between them. The correct answer for 8 is G. Sentence 14 mentions the value of librarians, and sentence 17 expands on their role, which is why it should follow sentence 14. Question 9 asks, which concluding sentence should be added after sentence 19 to support the argument presented in the passage? A, therefore, patrons of the public library can grow in both their social life and their level of community engagement. B, clearly it is in the best interest of the community members to maintain, support, and use the public library. C, after all, the public library has been a part of the American community since the first library was founded in 1833. D, in fact, community leaders must work together to find ways to generate more involvement in events at the public library. The question asks for a final sentence that would be placed after sentence 19 and support the overall argument of the passage. Option A is wrong because it doesn't provide a conclusion that supports the argument in the passage. Option A only talks about one benefit of having a public library and ignores the services and resources that library provides. Option C is incorrect because it introduces the new idea that the library has existed since 1833, which doesn't conclude the passage or support the argument of the passage. Option D is not correct because it is about a new claim, that community leaders must work together to support library events, instead of concluding the argument of the passage. The correct answer for 9 is B. Since the main idea of the passage is reasons to preserve libraries, the argument is strengthened by ending on a call to action to support libraries. That's the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching, and please email us if you have any questions.